Here we go.
Does it work? Is it working? Was the sound actually turned off?
What's up, fanboys and fangirls?
Yes.
It's good to see you, and I'm just glad that no one
Thank
needs
you.
to know about the earlier conversation.
It's still there.
That's true.
Thank you, Lucky.
That is so funny.
Yeah, so long story short, thank you, Nick. I did not do a lot this week. I played some Apex, got some dubs with this guy and Lepke, coincidentally. And then in Steph and I's ongoing march through the Batman movies, we watched Batman Begins. And oh my gosh, guys.
That movie is so good.
It's incredible.
My unhot take is that I think that's the best Batman movie.
There is so many people that do agree with you. I could be convinced of that too, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably say the exact same thing after we watch The Dark Knight. But like those
Recency
two, like
bias,
those
that
two
is-
combos, or those two together,
I think it is
It's just
super
the-
interesting
fantastic.
with both of those movies, those first two. Mm-hmm. Even Rises. I forget how good they are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like, do I really hype myself too much with
And
how
then-
much I liked it?
And then you watch them and you're like, nope.
Yeah, they're incredible.
Yeah.
Even Rises, which unfortunately followed those first two,
Yeah.
has its place in a pinnacle of superhero movies. It's just not as good as those first two, which is unfortunate.
It just feels like it was.
Rises is the superhero movie,
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
the comic book movie.
It just kind of feels like it's a little bit more tacked on.
Hmm.
It kind of feels like the Batman and Robin of this trilogy. Like, oh, like it's not quite what we wanted to do, but we've got to make the movie, and we're going to do the best we can. And I still think they did a really good job with Rise, from what I remember. It's been a couple years since I've seen it, but yeah, no, I certainly have a special place for Rise still in my heart. So, but that's all I did this week, other than home renovation stuff. So,
That sounds fun.
well, you know, home
I'll
ownership
jump.
is it's a chore sometimes.
I would agree. I'll go ahead and explain my week. I watched a movie that we're going to talk about later, Project Power. I watched the first episode of Lovecraft Country. We will also talk about that here shortly. I picked up a new Switch game called Cat Quest. So this is it's a really accessible RPG type game, kind of akin to Link's Awakening. Like it's that kind of style. It's pretty accessible for people who don't really want like those really deep RPG style games. It's got a level system. It's got an armor system. You get magical spells that you can level up. It's pretty cool.
With a cat?
With a cat. And when you get hit, you make cat noises. And it's filled with cat puns. It's very aware of what it is. And it makes for a ton of fun.
Where's that Podcat?
Where is the podcast?
Podcat is playing Cat Quest.
Podcat is on my shirt.
But I would give that a fanboy worthy. As it stands right now, it's still in progress. I'm probably only a couple hours into it. I kind of bought it in hopes that Dana would try it because it's like a pretty entry level RPG, and I just keep playing it. So kind of an issue. I went to the Kansas Cosmosphere this weekend.
Ooh.
I've lived here since, officially been a resident of Kansas since 2014, and I'd never gone. And I won't make that mistake again. I'll go again before 6 years pass because that place is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I had a ton of fun. I was there for like 4 hours. Like just, I think my favorite outside of all the shows and everything, because I did get to watch a edited version of Luke's favorite movie from last year, 2 years ago.
Last year, I think.
Apollo 11. It was called the First Steps edition. So it basically just showed up to their launch, and then it showed the moonwalk, and then it ended. And man, it was incredible.
It's good.
The music was awesome. It was getting me hyped up.
Mm-hmm. Matt Morton. Good
Dude,
stuff.
I loved it. It was awesome. That's a booyah, and I haven't even seen the full thing. There's still 45 minutes I didn't get to watch. But no, the Cosmosphere is great. I'd rate that a booyah even. I want to go back. It's really kind of nice. This is weird to say, but with COVID, like things like that aren't super busy, so you can really kind of take your time and enjoy it. Granted, you have to wear a mask, but that's not the end of the world to me. I really enjoyed reading about the Cold War and just kind of all the little things you don't really know about. I think my favorite part of it was the 3 times we were, as the United States, were just so embarrassed. I was like, man, that is stuff I do not remember. It was awesome. Really liked it. Can't wait to go back. But
To the moon, that is.
yeah. And my last thing I did is I finished a book called Waking Gods. It is book 2 in the Themis Files trilogy by Sylvain Nouvelle, who liked my tweet this week. Shout out Sylvain Nouvelle.
Want to be on the show?
This is, dude, I kind of want to ask him. I bet he'd consider it for 4 seconds. This book is a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads for me. It ups the action. It really kind of plays with this where do we fit in the universe theme that I really enjoy. And I cannot wait to read the 3rd one. I have my bookmark on page 1 right now at home. I'm starting it tonight. I have to know what happens. So if you've ever seen Sleeping Giants and you've been curious about it because the cover looks really cool, I would say pick it up and read it because it's fantastic. It's written kind of in the style of The Martian, but it's a little more like science fiction-y, like than The Martian is, if that makes sense. Like a little more fantasy side of science fiction than The Martian is. But no, highly recommend that. 5 out of 5 stars. I will report back hopefully next week on the 3rd book.
Cool.
And I'm 1 book away from my reading goal for 2020.
What was the first book called?
Sleeping Giants.
Sleeping Giants, Waking Gods, and...
Only Human.
I'm only human. I'll go now, since I'm the only
You're
one
the
left.
only one left.
I'm the... Nobody else can.
Logically, it makes sense.
Yep. Good job.
My logic is undeniable. I did not watch iRobot. I went to...
Okay.
Don't make fun of me. Tanganyika Wildlife
We're
Park.
not laughing with you. We're laughing at you.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And my favorite animal is the penguin, and they have penguins there, and me and my brother and sister-in-law actually got to participate in feeding them.
Nice.
It's just real quick. Give them 2 fish. That's it. But it was awesome. That's a bucket list item to feed a penguin.
Did you get to pet him?
No, they would bite. You have fish guts on your hand, so I don't know if that's the best to just reach at them. But there was a couple little kids who were getting nipped when they were posing for pictures and stuff.
Aw.
Hey,
Cute.
that's what you get though when you put your fingers through the net. Happens at baseball games too. The kid that always has their fingers just through the net, they're not paying attention, always gets the foul ball in their hands.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the penguin comes up and nips at him.
Maybe. Sometimes. Depends on the mascot,
Yeah,
obviously.
I guess that's true. Are there any penguin-related baseball mascots?
Hockey. I don't know about baseball, though.
I don't think so.
Probably not.
Probably
Doesn't
not.
seem
That doesn't
very-
make sense.
Not very baseball-friendly mascot.
I bet there is. Minor League Baseball has some weird ones.
I mean, our team in Wichita is the Wind Surge. We got a Pegasus.
Hey, Pegasus
Pretty awesome.
are cool.
I would own one if I could.
I don't have the real estate to support a Pegasi.
You can just fly around.
It's a Pegasus.
Unless you got 2 and you're holding out on
I
us.
can't say anything. I literally said breakfasts today instead of breakfasts. And I was like, what am I doing?
Words
Have
are
you,
hard.
have you ever said something and immediately just
Oh,
been like,
yeah.
oh, why did I say that?
Uh,
Well, you do it.
mine
before
are all
you-
recorded.
My favorite one
I'm wiping
before
them all.
before we keep going. My favorite one was and Siebel might remember this. I think we were in the same freshman in high school, so like ninth grade, science class. I was reading out loud a section in the book, and I said, and I pronounced thermometer twice. Twice.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's a thermometer.
Yeah.
But
Makes
you're also
sense.
dead
I
wrong.
bet they say it that way in some country.
Probably.
All right, I'll keep going.
Okay.
One thing, real quick, that I rewatched was Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
You finished it?
Yeah, that show is amazing.
You're a machine.
It is so good, and it doesn't hurt it that it's really one season, even though it's 5. It just takes place right after
just
the other.
keeps going.
There's like no season break.
That's
There's
kind of nice.
like in between season 3 and 4, I think it's like at a climactical point in the story.
I'm just like, we're going
like,
to stop here for a bit.
The entire last season is like 2 days, and it's just the last battle.
How many episodes is it per season?
The 13, and then the last season is 11, I think.
Oh, okay. So it's pretty short.
Yeah, 5 seasons.
That's not bad.
That show is fantastic. Fanboy worthy. If you've been curious about anime, that I think should be the one you start off with. Super awesome. And then the last thing that I did, besides what we're reviewing, was I finished True Detective Season 3. I feel very let down by it. Even probably more so than Season 2, because I heard Season 2 wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
I heard Season 3 was better, but I did not really enjoy Season 3 anymore. That being said, I was telling Brett this earlier, Mahershala Ali is probably the best actor living today. Dude can make anything good.
Yeah.
But I did not like any of the characters. I felt like people were flipping motivations all the time because of bad writing. I found the case they're investigating extremely boring. And then just... I was on my phone while I was watching it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, Season 1 is freaking fantastic, so watch Season 1 at least.
Pinnacle.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah. But yeah.
Anything else?
I don't think so. No. Just Project Power and Lovecraft Country.
Ooh, indeed.
And news.
And news. Should we do news?
News.
Let's hop into some of that news.
All right, I have one trailer.
Oh, yes.
and we kind of talked about it earlier in the week. Devil All the Time.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like recorded. I was like, oh,
No,
we texted all about it.
No, we just texted about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
The devil all the time.
Yo, this looks good.
It looks incredible.
Uh-huh.
So this is the Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson Netflix film. Coming out September 4th, I think. It's that weekend.
Yep.
The weekend that everything else is happening.
The weekend of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake.
And Tenet.
And Tenet.
Oh yeah, Tenet.
And Mulan.
Good for Robert Pattinson. He's about to make some
he's going
money.
up. He's going up against himself.
Yeah. What a dummy.
But yeah, this is a...
It's because they felt bad for the United States. They're like, we'll give you a Pattinson in some capacity.
This looks like a serial killer type murder mystery, dark tone-ish. Looks kind of like a Fincher movie, honestly.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
it looks like Seven.
Very Finchery.
And I feel like we haven't gotten that type of movie in a long time. And I am very excited just for that
Yes.
tone of a movie.
I watched the trailer with Dana, and the minute Tom Holland talks, she looks at me. I'm like, yeah, very different for him.
Yeah, he's not some high school kid.
No,
Like
he's an adult.
he's actually branching out in a role, which seems really nice.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see if he can perform differently and better. More differently.
Mo better.
Sure. Yeah. I like that. That was the only trailer I had. Was there more?
Other than video game ones, no.
What video game?
Just all the Apex trailers that come out as season 6 for Apex starts tomorrow, the 18th.
Yeah.
I've been telling Brett all season long how good of a place Apex is in, and he just wouldn't listen to me.
No, I believed you.
And
I
now
just
he's
didn't
playing
have much of a drive to play it at the time, and now I am regretting not hopping back in sooner because it's so good. This guy. Hey, but this season 6.
Okay,
Let's do this.
you got a week. 'Cause
Level
then Madden comes out.
Level 100 in 1 week. We can do it.
Are we taking the whole week off? But no.
When else are you spending vacation time?
When I have shoulder surgery. Maybe?
Oh.
No, there's a bunch of character trailer. There's a character trailer, a battle pass trailer, a gameplay trailer, and then just
A
their
little
season
dev
6.
stream and
Yeah, and those were all really good.
yeah.
I think the changes they're making, I was kind of nervous about them when they were announced, but after seeing them explained, I feel really good about it.
And how they kind of work with each other.
Yeah.
It's not just, oh hey, this weapon is way too good, let's nerf it. It's let's look at the entire sandbox and tweak everything just a little bit.
I think that's what Respawn is so good at, and I just think they nail balance. Mm-hmm. They find ways to, like, they're like, oh, we're gonna buff this character, but when they buff that character, they consider how that impacts all the other characters and how they play off of each other. And I just think that's, like, even in their patch notes today, there's one where they're like, people were using 3 specific characters and they were kind of cheating, so we've buffed this to eliminate that, and we've nerfed that to fix this. It's just like, man, they really are good at making sure everything works in the game, except for the Mozambique. But I think at this point, that's a running gag. So
Yeah.
But no, season 6 of Apex launches tomorrow. Again, the 18th. I will be there.
Or yesterday, the 18th.
Yeah, depending on when you're listening to this.
Speaking of battle royales,
Fall Guys?
no,
Still haven't played it, sorry.
I haven't played it either.
Probably won't play it.
But
You should come over
Fortnite,
and play
another game that starts with the letter F. Fortnite went to war
Fall
with
Guys? No.
I had it, Luke. I had a good little segue there, and you went and done screwed it up.
That's what I was going for.
I know.
Knocked him off the seesaw.
Fortnite went to war with Apple and Google. This is interesting.
Listen, I don't like Fortnite or really Epic that much. Don't care about them, but I'm rooting for them.
Oh, yeah.
Root for the underdog in this
Everybody
situation.
should be rooting for Epic right now.
Yeah. So yeah, and I can't remember the timeline on when things happened. Had they released? Had it gotten? It got pulled, like before we recorded last episode, right? It had gotten pulled from the store, but they hadn't done the whole suit yet. Correct.
I
think
can't
that's
remember if it
correct.
was the next. It was the next morning, I think.
Okay.
I think it was Tuesday. One of you sent a tweet and were like, "Fortnite did this thing," And then you responded, I wonder if Apple's going to take it off.
Oh, no, I said I wonder how long until
Yeah.
Apple removes it.
Yeah,
And
so,
then it's like 2 hours later.
So Epic, the developers of Fortnite, basically put a way in the game for you to pay them directly and avoid Apple's and Google's 30% cut to take. Because if you don't know how app stores work, pretty much any digital retailer works. Whoever is hosting that store, the store owner, so that would be like Xbox, PlayStation, Google, the Apple App Store, they all take essentially like a 30% cut is actually pretty standard across the board. That's a lot of money. It's a lot. It ends up being a lot of money, especially when dealing with numbers like what Fortnite, brings in. And Epic's just kind of tired of it, and they feel like there's not really any traction to go anywhere, and so they're taking Apple to court and Google to court over monopolization of these digital retail stores and that kind of cut. I do think it'll be really interesting if they win. They obviously have precedent then to go after Microsoft and Sony. That said, Microsoft and Sony, I was reading an article where they're less likely to go after them because consoles in general are sold at a loss, and so you can make there's part of the way that the console makers actually make money then is by taking those cuts on game sales, or microtransaction sales in games. And so they may play a little nicer with them. Whereas when you've got your phone, Apple and Google aren't taking losses on these. They're making profits off of the hardware sales. So they don't need that 30% as much in terms of upkeep of things like servers and the App Store. And it's all very complicated. And I would say that I am pro Epic in this case, but I don't know.
The Apple guy's going against Apple.
I love it.
I just don't know what. I don't know where the slope ends, because I appreciate the walled garden approach to a certain extent, as long as it's not censorship or anti-competitive. And this is not necessarily that. This is more of a money policy rate thing.
Yeah, that was last week.
The anti-competitive with xCloud was last week. But yeah, no, it's it'll be very, very interesting.
Agreed. I just don't know what the outcome is. If Epic wins,
Well, so the other thing today is that Apple sent Epic a letter saying that we're going to revoke all of your developer accounts, which means anything running Unreal Engine on iOS is going to be screwed. So that's even more developers and more games that are screwed because of that. And now Epic has filed a countersuit on that as well. So, yay, courts.
Yeah, but I won't understand any of it from now on. Now that it's getting all countersues and whatnot.
We should
in 4 years they'll announce probably a winner. And
The thing that happened today
will transfer hands.
The thing that happened today, I think, is really unfortunate from a relation standpoint between Apple and Google, or Apple and Epic. Today, this was Apple lighting the torch and setting the front yard on fire.
They don't want that front yard anyways.
And they're like, let's hope you can put it out before it gets to the house.
And that's what the fire.
And unfortunately, that's maybe gives a little more credence to what maybe Apple is a little bit monopolistic in this realm, because you shouldn't be able to get away with that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Where does Disney fit in all this?
I have no idea.
Figured to beg the question.
It does.
Monopolies and
Well,
evil empires and stuff.
Last week we talked a little bit about vertical integration in film distribution with Mulan coming exclusively to a paid content service for an additional price.
When I think of evil empires, obviously Star Wars comes to mind. The New York Yankees, Apple, Disney, and I'm sure there's others that I'm not thinking of right now. Dallas Cowboys.
Sauron.
Yes.
Makes sense. The Fire Nation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Fire Nation,
Ooh, nice segue.
actually, I didn't have this written down, but Nick brought it up in the chat. He said, question, unless you want to answer it before the fan box. And I think
bet you had it written
it's
down.
related to a news story, which is that the original writers of the Avatar series we're working with Netflix to create a live action Avatar series, and they've stepped away. And Nick wants to know, how do we feel about that?
I think Netflix is really good at making shows, so it still can be really good. However, I don't know if it will now. I heard things that they were trying to keep the casting how it should be, with like the different Asian cultures that represent each nation, and how Netflix was like, no, we want to cast stars, and that necessarily doesn't mean that they're going to be Asian.
Get Matt Damon in there.
Oh yeah, get Matt Damon in there, and Scarlett Johansson.
It's the Great Wall.
Scarlett
sequel we
Johansson
never
is
got.
Katara.
Oh.
But isn't she? Scarlett Johansson's Asian, right? She was in Ghost in the Shell.
Where does Taika Waititi fit into all this?
No, that's...
You can play anybody. I'm okay with it. Yeah, I mean, it still has potential, obviously, but I don't know if I'd really put any eggs in the basket anymore.
Yeah, when you have a property like that, and the original creators are like, yeah, we'll help you with it, and they leave because they don't like the direction you're taking it, it obviously is going to raise some major red flags for people, especially people who are diehard fans of said series. Last time the creators weren't involved, there was the movie, I think it was 2012.
Oh my gosh.
Something like that. I don't think it'll be that bad. I think it, like you said, Netflix does a good job with shows. They'll find a way to make this good in some form or fashion. It'll have its own merit.
Yeah, I do. Nick in the chat brings up tone, hearing that maybe the Netflix execs maybe want to make it a little darker or more. My guess is we're aiming for an older crowd than what the Nickelodeon show did, and I'm fine with that in terms of it doesn't need to be
The Witcher.
But not okay, so not darker. I don't mean like dark gritty. I just mean like if we're casting teenage like Aang feels like he's more like 8 to 10 years old. He's probably older, but he feels like that because that's who they're making the show for. I would be okay if they made the show for like 13 to 15-year-olds. So it's got some like moody stuff, but it's still lighthearted.
What's his buddy's name? Earthbender dude?
What? Boomy?
I can't think of his name. I'll have to look it up. Keep talking.
Toph? The little girl?
No. Just keep going. I'll find it out.
To me, I feel like a live action version, I feel like it would naturally be darker.
Yeah.
I feel like he just couldn't even help it. Because, I mean, even the cartoon is pretty dark. Not like
it can get serious, yeah, for sure.
Dark is probably not the best word.
The most amazing thing with animation is that it really allows you to overexpress emotion. And so you can really exaggerate things, like you can make those characters' eyes like really pop in a moment, and like that can bring out those like, oh, that's cute and that's funny way easier than what a live action show could do. So you have to treat them like different property, you know. They're just a different medium. It's still, film or television, but it's a different medium within the medium.
Yeah, and like at the same time, I don't know if I feel like the dark stuff that would probably come through more is stuff with like Aang's past.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he goes back to the Air Temple, everybody's dead, and he finds Gyatso there. He finds a skeleton.
Yeah.
It's like that is a very sad and it's dark thing. That would be awful.
I was thinking of Sokka.
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 That
He's,
should
just,
be.
he's just the normal dude.
Yeah. What? Ludi Lin.
Oh, yeah, not-
Ludi Lin should play him.
Maybe a little old.
You can make him look young.
Just
They'll
de-age
find a
him.
way. There you go. Netflix money.
But
Everybody's got money these days.
Everybody got money.
So yeah,
some does.
yeah, that's an interesting. I mean, we won't see that show for another 3 years, anyways. But
Maybe more than
ever.
that now.
now, yeah, even more if ever. So, no, it's interesting. It's a good question, Nick.
Yeah, I forgot to write that down too.
Yeah.
So we probably would have forgotten to talk about it.
Well, since we're talking about things that will probably get delayed now, let's talk about something else that got delayed. Halo Infinite.
Aw, sad face over
Delayed
here.
Need a hug, Brett.
2021.
I need a hug.
Hug him.
I need a hug too. We can hug each other.
Okay.
It's okay. Come here. Bring it in. Bring it in. I was pretty excited for Halo to come out with the console
Yeah.
in November, which is also a news story. The release window is confirmed as November, but I'm glad they're delaying it. Kind of like I'd rather them get it right.
And it sounds like it's necessary.
Yeah.
Siebold texted me right when this happened, and it was like, I'm sad and I'm angry, because we're coming up on 5 years since the last Halo, and it's like, why are we delaying it? You've made Halos, in under 2 years.
And they've been advertising a Halo release with the new Xbox
Yep.
Yeah.
for like the past 2.5 almost.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, there's obviously a lot that goes into it. From, I know that the work environment has changed for them. Being up in Seattle, they've been work from home primarily for the last 6 months now, and the last 6 months of a game's development cycle is some of its
Most crucial.
crucial. So if it's simply like they're just not quite hitting those milestones, I totally get that. I think also there's another aspect of it, which is it had a little bit of a rough announcement in terms of reception. A lot of people very excited. I mean, I was excited.
I was too.
But they got a lot of pushback on some of the how it looks. So yeah,
This
I want them
sucks.
to take the time and get it right.
Yep.
I'm just bummed that it comes at the expense of another. I mean, and we don't know when in 2021. It could be February, and it's
January 1.
So that was going to be my question: is when do you think it releases? Like, I've heard March a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of people think March. Like maybe it's closer than we realize. Like I mean, we all thought it was coming out in November,
right.
and I just wonder when they realized they aren't going to hit the date because they showed it. Like they were confident, and then the responses came in, and it's like, we got to go back to the drawing board.
I saw Phil Spencer had a comment about we knew, and this was like the day after that they had the news story. They said we literally just made this decision, like just this week or just over the end of last week. Had to take a little bit, a day or two to get the messaging all kind of ironed out. But they didn't. It's not like they've been sitting on this for weeks. Like, we're gonna tease this promotion just to get people hyped up. No, it's a combo of things. And there were some rumors that 2 years ago, year and a half ago, when the they had a creative director change. They had a creative director leave the project, and then Chris Lee came on to take over. Like, anytime there's a creative director change, it's not a great sign.
Yeah.
Either that means that the game's not where it's at, and they're not directing well. You know, like, being a director is essentially just being a big manager and making sure all of the pieces are moving right. Mm-hmm. Or there was a shift in what they wanted to do with the game, and it didn't align with that director's vision, and then they left the project. Either one of those means that you're not in a great place. Yeah. So
This sucks.
that's rough.
The impact this will have on the console launch, it's going to hurt
I think
the Xbox quite a bit.
Yeah,
I'm still going to get one, and the people who are in that ecosystem will probably still stick with the Xbox, but man, that sucks to have a flagship product to ship with your console.
Yep. Yes, it does.
Now I have no idea what to get again.
I
was
mean,
really starting to lean that way, especially since you guys will be getting that, so I'm still kind of leaning that way. Because I want to play with you guys, but
Cyberpunk's going to play so much better on that than it is going to be on your 1S.
True, but Spider-Man on PS5.
But Cyberpunk.
Miles Morales.
I'm waiting
But
for
Cyberpunk.
I'm waiting for that Spider-Man announcement to be. Oh, it'll also be on PS4 too with downgraded graphics.
Or it's delayed.
Or it's delayed, right?
Well, since Halo's delayed, we're actually going to wait too.
Yeah.
Until we know, yeah, who knows?
Are you guys done talking about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's move on
So-
before I cry.
Last week, it was kind of breaking news right when we started that DC Comics laid a bunch of people off.
Yeah.
And then just a couple of days ago, Jim Lee, who's the CEO of DC Comics, he had an interview at the Hollywood Reporter because there was lots of questions up in the air with what was kind of going on.
Yep.
So I kind of wrote down just some
bullet points
from that interview. I've heard kind of two things. I heard 1/3 of the staff was cut, but in the interview they said 20% of the staff was cut from DC, including many senior editors. That was a weird noise.
It is my shirt.
But they did hire 2 interim editors in chief. I forgot to write down their names. Forgot I was going to do that. Anywho, I don't think really anybody knows who they are. One was working in the YA section of DC, and I don't remember the other one.
That's okay.
But there was like lots of weird rumors going on after this. Some of them are so stupid, and I can't believe people believed them, and we're reporting them. There was rumors that DC was not going to be writing comics anymore. Jim Lee said, no, we're definitely writing comics. Another rumor was that AT&T doesn't like comics, doesn't like that part of the business. And he said, no, they definitely like that. We are doing this. And the last kind of stupid thing was that to publish the comics, they were going to have Marvel publish them. These are real rumors. People this stupid? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
Yes, they are.
Don't believe those.
Don't believe. If it sounds absolutely ridiculous or too good to be true, I would go in with some hesitation to that rumor. Also, there's going to be an emphasis on digital comics. Jim Lee was talking about Injustice, how it was a really, really big digital release, so big that they decided to release it of print. It seems like moving forward, that's going to be more of a model. Where if something is popular enough, they'll be like, all right, we'll put this into print so people can get it. So it'll mainly just be Batman comics. And another really cool part that I liked was he was talking about why comics are important to write. He's talking about how the comic book is the base, really, for the inspiration of all these stories. We're creating new characters. We're creating new story points for them to make in TV shows and movies. We're creating new characters. Mm-hmm. All that inspiration comes from this, and you have to keep exploring new ideas. So there's no reason AT&T or Warner Media or Warner Bros. Would be like, no, don't do that anymore. That's where the ideas are coming from.
Right. That's where you can take the most risk.
Yeah. And then the last part, and this was probably the biggest thing I thought out of it, was he was asked about DC Universe.
Yeah.
And it's where it's going to be at. And Jim Lee said they're going to be transitioning all the shows from DC Universe, all the original shows, to HBO Max. Writing's been on the wall. We've been talking about it for months now that this is going to happen.
It's about time they just said it.
Yeah. I imagine there's going to actually be something at Fandom where there's going to be like,
Yeah.
listen, these shows are HBO Max originals now.
Yep.
We're getting season 3s going to Max, and then season 4s, if I don't know if they're at that point yet.
Dude, Titans with an HBO budget, though, could be
Really,
pretty wild.
I think it could really help that. We're a little better writers.
Yeah. Akiva Goldsman.
Yeah, and the other side of that was he said DC Universe isn't going away.
Yeah, this was cool.
So reading between the kind of the lines, me and Tyler are kind of assuming it's going to be a digital reader.
With a community feature.
Maybe it'll still be the streaming type thing, like you pay a monthly thing, but you get access to the DC digital comics, which I think is really cool for the people that read all those comics. I know I am not really on top of all that, so I don't know if I'd still keep it, but I know that's still a really good idea for people that want to have access to all of those comic books.
I also like that they're keeping the community part of it intact. Like, yes, you can read these comics. Yes, you can watch these classic shows that will still be there, is what it sounded like. But you can also interact with other DC fans, and they do read-alongs and things like that. So it'll be really cool to kind of see how that platform shifts. I know I paid for a year of it, so
Yeah, you
I
have
will,
it.
I will have it as it goes through its change. So I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah, and he really seemed to be emphasizing that HBO Max is the future of digital stuff for Warner.
Yeah.
And I mean, that seems to be the trend for every company.
Yeah.
It really seems like we're moving towards a less physical media type world, which makes me sad because I'm a huge fan of collecting the discs, even though I don't really need them. I'm a sucker, I guess. It just looks so nice when you take it out of that package and you're like, ooh, look what I got.
I mean, even rewatching, we streamed Batman Begins via HBO Max this last week, and like, it's just not as high quality. I mean, I'm a snob. I'll admit it, but like,
for me, it's the sound. The sound is so much better when you watch it on Blu-ray.
Yeah. You have that uncompressed audio. Yeah, true that.
More into positive news, DC related though. Like a day before that, they released the schedule for DC Fandom.
Yes.
So get hyped.
It's going to be dope.
It starts noon Central Time. If you go to schedule.dcfandom.com, it will be in your time zone. And it's starting with the Wonder Woman panel. There's a lot of stuff here. And you can go to their website and just look at all their stuff. Wonder Woman, WB Games Montreal, Suicide Squad, surprise stuff to be announced.
Did you make your schedule?
Yeah, I made my schedule.
I have yet to make my schedule.
And it's going to last about 8 hours.
Our schedules are the same.
Going. Well, I pretty much added everything. It's ending with the Batman. Get hyped. I'm so excited for that.
And Matt Reeves has confirmed he's going to show a teaser.
So it's going to be about 8 hours long if you would probably watch the Hall of Heroes main panel stuff straight through. And then there's encore presentations.
And I think some of the stuff's just up. Like, you can just go to it and check it out.
Like, I think a lot of, like, Doom Patrol and Titans, I think that will just be up. In
Yeah, you can just go to it whenever you want. I think you could probably go to it before noon.
Oh,
honestly,
yeah.
I think it'll be, like, some of that stuff will already be up.
Yeah. But gosh, I'm extremely, extremely hype.
Oh, man, I can't wait. We've been waiting so long to hear updates on, like, the Suicide Squad movie. We're going to get some news on the Black Adam movie. I can't wait to hear about all the castings that are coming out this weekend. And my Green Lantern prediction has a chance of coming true this weekend.
My Injustice prediction might come true.
Dude, it's coming true.
Injustice 3.
Ed Boon is not on that list for any other reason than to come in and just be like, yeah, we're making another one.
We have a prequel comic that came out like 2 months ago.
And this game is going to have nothing to do with it. But no, it's really exciting. This is, as a DC fanboy, this is like your dream. Like this is what you live for, right? I'm so pumped.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Let's go.
On the heels of that, we did get some Court of Owls teasers today for WB Montreal's new Batman game. And I guess I'm guessing the trend, the way it's looking, we'll get one every day this week.
Yeah.
It's kind of what it seems like.
Little tiny baby teasers.
Yeah, that really don't make a whole lot of sense. Like today's was weird.
It was like a weird
Sonar
hourglass
thing.
Yeah.
And then the next one was like, we've been awaiting your arrival or something.
We have been expecting you.
Yeah.
Beware the Court of Owls.
It's going to be awesome. I never played Arkham Origins, so I'm curious to see how I like the gameplay.
The gameplay was fine. It felt like the Arkham games, but less refined. The story was so good, though.
That's what I've heard.
Shout out to that story being super well done.
What do you got, Brett?
I'm reminiscing. I'm sorry.
Why?
Oh,
He's looking at pictures
our
of
alma
Halo.
mater, like their first day back at school was
Today?
today. So
Nerds.
Tabor has a bunch of pictures of the kids walking around campus. I'm just I sure hope there's not an outbreak there.
There's an outbreak at Bethel.
I know. I saw that today. I was like, ugh.
So it took no time for it to take. Oh my gosh.
So if you're a student at Tabor College, stay safe. Any college.
Yeah. If you're a student.
If you're a student, stay safe.
If you're a
All
person, stay safe and wear a mask, please.
Yep.
I am out of news stories.
Me too.
Me 3. So we should talk about
Let's give
Lovecraft first.
Yeah, let's knock these impressions out real quick.
Real quick.
Lovecraft Country.
It's awesome. Go watch it.
If you watch
Jordan Peele's new creation.
if you watch the first 5 minutes and you're like, absolutely not, I'm guessing you won't like the show.
Because
that's where it's gonna go.
Yeah. I thought it was. I sat down. It started, and I was like, "Whoa, what is this? This is not what I took from this trailer." Mm-hmm. And then, as it progresses, you're like, "Oh, okay, this makes more sense."
It does that Watchmen thing of like.
Yeah. Well, so I'm glad you said Watchmen.
Reminded me a lot of Watchmen.
So yes, so this show is literally Watchmen meets Stranger Things. That's what it is. That's what the show is.
I've been looking for something. It's Watchmen meets something.
That's
but
a
what
great
is it?
combo.
It's Stranger Things. It's
Yeah.
exactly what it is, and like, it's perfect. It works.
Mm-hmm.
It works so well. But one thing that I want to commend HBO, AT&T, whoever on is they continue to push the boundaries, and I learned something new from this episode. I looked it up. Sundown towns.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was real.
So as this,
Like that is insane. It's just another thing that we weren't taught about.
Yeah.
It's been buried.
We had
I'm guessing
Black
we
Wall
have
Street
been
and
taught a
Watchmen.
lot.
Yeah, no, I mean, as we continue to learn more, like we learned in Watchmen, it was Black Wall Street. Mm-hmm. In Lovecraft Country, it's sundown towns. Mm-hmm. That's insane.
And the show seems to have a horror type vibe.
But the horror
That scene where they're driving away
was so
so
intense.
slow. I was losing my mind.
So
my
that's the
gosh.
other thing too, right? Like
Super tense.
this is a horror thriller kind of show, and the horror isn't the monsters.
Yeah.
And I think that is awesome. It's so well done. So I already gave it fanboy worthy. I mean, it could obviously crash and burn, but where it's at right now, I love it. I think it's awesome.
I'll probably wait a couple episodes before I give a tentative rating.
Well, mine's tentative by episode. It could go up and down.
Oh.
But
Every episode is.
Or rate each episode. This episode's a fanboy worthy, but episode 4 is a booyah. So watch episode 4 if you've never seen the show. Just episode 4.
watch episode 4 first, then episode 1.
Yeah.
It's the Witcher timeline. Come on. They got away with it. So can this. But no.
Let's
Lovecraft
not
Country
do. Let's
is
not do
awesome.
crazy.
I just love
multi-timelines.
bagging on The Witcher.
We can afford to have like one show this year.
I
that
feel
doesn't
like
have
the show
multiple
might
timelines.
have some weird timeline stuff.
I know
eventually in
it could.
There's going to be time travel. 100%.
Yeah, probably.
All I know is that Jackie Robinson is once again the MVP.
Yeah.
that was so epic.
What did you think? Do you think? Okay, so there are the second half of this episode. Or maybe the last third. We get to see some monsters. That's what H.P. Lovecraft was so well known for, was his imaginative, like just grotesque creatures that he thought up. Is it gonna be one of those things where it's like monster of the week, or we're gonna pick a couple here and there and sprinkle them throughout season 1 because we're hoping to make this a 3 or 4 season?
Well, I think how do I say this without being cheesy? I think the main monster is racism.
Well, no, sure.
But I think it'll be different monsters each week.
Yeah.
I would think, right? I also like that those things are called vampires.
Yeah.
That is not what I think of when I think of the word vampire. I thought that was cool.
I feel like that was just the first episode. This is what is around here. But I feel like over the next several episodes, there's going to be a lot less of that. I feel like it's going to be weird. It looks like did you watch like the trailer after?
I did not.
Like,
I didn't either.
Coming up this season on Lovecraft Country. They're like at a house with people who, and they're whack. To me, it gave me like Eyes Wide Shut vibes.
Okay.
As I was watching the trailer. I think it's going to be off-putting and weird and informative. But I feel like it's going to be less monsters and be more of, from what I felt, more of an escalation. Kind of, it's going to be not so much of this in the second episode. By the end of the season, probably more of the series. Cthulhu's and aliens and and more vampires.
Yeah. I think this pilot episode did everything a pilot's supposed to, though. And so I think it kind of gives merit to what you're saying. It gave you everything, like, this is what's here. Now we'll tell our story.
Yeah.
And so, I think you're probably onto something. I think outside of racism being the number one monster.
Oh, yeah.
I think Cthulhu will be the end boss.
Yeah. Final boss.
Because like in the trailer, they're in this house and they're
disgusting.
like they're all going for what it seems like their what is it earnings when somebody dies?
Inheritance?
Yeah, like they're all trying to earn this inheritance that they're all party to, but these three they're all black and everybody else they're looking super white.
Yeah.
Not just white, the crazy white people, that type.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think we would all probably
say you should watch it.
Recommend it.
If it's your cup of tea. Like,
yeah,
it is a very like sci-fi horror show, so if that's not your thing, you're probably not going to enjoy it. But
and then we've got a
Project Power.
Got a movie to review.
Netflix's movie of the month. You know, the bright spot in
next week is Devil All the Time.
In all this pandemic
next
stuff
month.
is at least we get Netflix movies every once in a while.
That's right.
Listen, and honestly, I feel like they really lucked out in the timing of their releases. Having Extraction with Chris Hemsworth. And then you have the superhero movie Phil come in with Old Guard, and also kind of with this.
Yeah.
Like, I know the situation really sucks for everybody right now, but
Netflix
they planned those release dates
forever ago.
luckily, I'll guess, or well.
I'm sure they're holding on to some things too. I'm curious to see.
So I'll start because I started this when I got home after work today and was kind of sleepy because I've had a couple late nights. So I kind of laid down and kind of faded in and out. I need to just start it over and watch it from the beginning. But my first impressions of the first half of the movie are, this is like a really intriguing idea that's kind of being executed in it's a Netflix movie kind of way. Not super highly cinematic, not overly budgeted, but that has some interesting characters and a couple stars. and an interesting plot. But I really can't speak about the quality as I was, half asleep for most of it. So I'll let you guys do the majority of the talking here during this segment.
We got this. I kind of echo everything you say. I think this is a really interesting premise. Having superpowers for 5 minutes at a time, not knowing what your power is. It's something to me that works better as a TV show than a movie.
Yep.
But for what Project Power is, I think they get their point across. I think it's fun. I think there's something about it that is missing, and I don't know what it is. I cannot figure it out. But it lacks one thing, and I can't tell you what that one thing is, but it's there. I won't use the weird metaphor that a judge has used in court, but it is there. The way I kind of describe this I was talking to Lepke about it, is I think it's good. Like it's fine to good. It knows what it is. And they avoid the cardinal sin that all these kinds of movies do, and that is with Robin's character. They avoid the major thing, and that would be spoiler territory, so I won't say what that is. But I do think there is a hard line in this movie where the tone shifts, namely when they go to the club. From that moment forward, it starts to take a more like fun comic booky tone. The first half is like real serious, which I thought was interesting. Like I think it's better when they're having fun.
Yeah.
Like I think the movie, like Joseph Gordon-Levitt is hilarious when he gets to have fun.
What was the last thing he was in?
So this is his return to acting. He took time off.
Man, I missed him.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's really good.
Yeah.
And when he gets to have fun, you can tell like, no, this is the dude we've been missing.
Dude,
for
the
the last
scene
few years.
at
when he goes to
your house and he gets out of the shower is so funny. Just so funny.
That scene's good. And then when he runs off in the tanker, it's just like wrong way. And he's like, I know. And he's already coming back. Like, oh man, there's some good moments for his character. But I think Jamie Foxx, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and
Dominique Fishback.
I think all three of them do a great job.
Yep.
I do. I have no complaints about any of them. I think maybe with a little bit better directing, this movie could have probably skyrocketed in rating because the premise is there.
Yep.
It really is. Like the premise is there to be great. It just needs a little bit more oomph. I don't know what oomph is, but it needs it.
So I think I agree with everything you just said. It's been a long time since I've wrote like just a single thought on
I just
something.
pulled up my text conversation with Lepke and like went through what I was talking to him about.
And so like I wrote has some script issues with stuff kind of not being all there.
Right.
But it is a fun movie.
Yeah, I would agree.
And kind of what I thought was it's a fun entry into this under the radar pocket superhero universe in which I include Push, Jumper, Code 8, and now this.
Code 8 is all I could think about while I was watching this movie.
So I include all these movies in one world, and
like
I just
own
wanted
universe?
to cross over so bad.
Dude.
Like you have these jumpers and psychics that are here in the world. So they create a pill so the army can like go against them. And then now there's also superheroes in the world because of these pills. And that leads to whatever is happening in Code 8 because that's in the future. But
That would be awesome. Sorry.
quick side note, if you haven't watched Code 8 on Netflix,
Check it out.
Check it out. It is a really fun, very small budget indie film.
And a good movie.
Yeah, it's really good. Great three leads.
Yes.
They're fantastic. The concept of this is my favorite part.
Yeah.
All I can say is ice power is maybe not such a good thing.
The rare power, too.
That was an awesome scene. That was probably one of my favorite scenes. A really fun perspective and action scene.
Oh my gosh.
Just being stuck
the way
in
they
that.
shot that was so dope.
And then like you're traumatized by what's happening to this girl. And then you got this cool action scene going on in the background. I was like, this is cool.
Yeah, it's creative.
Unfortunately, one of the problems I have is there wasn't that through the rest.
Right.
I have it down here as a con, direction and cinematography. not bad, just uninspired. They did a lot of cool things, but they don't do it again.
Right.
Like,
They scratch the itch, but they never get it to go away.
yeah.
It's like, oh, we're gonna do
Like
it's a little too much.
Like in that club fight scene, they put the camera on the end of Jamie Foxx's gun. He's like walking around with it. It's like, do that again. That was a cool shot.
There's some really cool, in that scene alone, there's some really cool camera work. Like you said, the shooting the fight scene from inside the chamber. Mm-hmm. I was like, what? Mm-hmm. I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah. I loved where they get powers from. I won't go too much into it because it's kind of the spoiler. It's the exposition scene, unfortunately. But a movie like this is going to have it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was waving
bugging you. The other thing...
Listen to my voice. Am I lying?
Am I lying? Dude, Jamie Foxx.
He's incredible.
I see people talking about how he's a has-been on Twitter.
Dude, I love Jamie Foxx.
They need to shut up.
Watch more of his stuff. He's good.
I think he's fantastic, and I thought he was great in this movie.
He's gonna crush it in that Tyson biopic. He's gonna be so good in that.
Yeah.
He's Spawn.
Dude, yeah, he is Spawn. That's right. He's jacked in this movie too. He looks good. He looks like he's been training for that Tyson movie.
I thought most of the action scenes were entertaining. Mm-hmm. There's some that I was like, that could have been done better. Mainly like the bank heist scene was a mess, I thought. Which leads into another con, the editing in this movie. Some really just lots of cuts.
Yeah.
And things that I felt like weren't happening one after the other. It's like we just have them fighting. It's like, we'll throw that all together. We'll kind of see what happens.
What did you think of the opening scene with Newt?
I thought it was...
I actually thought that was
I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
And I thought it did a really cool way of introducing what the powers do to you.
And what the pills can do if you use them too much.
Yeah. So, like, if you don't know about the movie, you take a pill, you flip a switch in it, you take it for 5 minutes, you get a superpower, or you know what, maybe you just blow up.
Yep.
It could happen. You don't really know. You get one superpower every time you take the pill. So like Joseph Gordon-Levitt always is indestructible.
Yeah.
Machine Gun Kelly, who I didn't think was really that bad in this, he always becomes the Human Torch.
Essentially, it's like someone with plasma, though.
Yeah,
it's weird.
And I thought it was really well done with how they established if he doesn't get put out by the time his 5 minutes up, he's on fire.
Yeah.
And he is burned up.
Yeah. Oh, he looks terrible.
There's another guy who turns into the Hulk.
And his neck's all wrinkly.
Stretched out. Yeah.
Like they paid attention to details with that. Mm-hmm. It was cool.
But yeah, the direction and cinematography really, I feel like I think they're just inexperienced, really.
Probably.
And with the script, it was written by one guy. I think they might have needed somebody else to take another pass on it to maybe fill some holes. Because kind of what you were talking about, something is missing.
Yeah.
And for me, what I think it is the fact that this movie will take maybe a couple seconds to slow down, especially with Jamie Foxx and Dominique Fishback.
Oh, man. When it does, it's so good, too.
It's really good, but that's really it. You don't know anything about Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character except he's a cop trying to save his city.
Yeah, he's pretty shallow.
And for me, I think a show would be really good. Slow it down, expand it a bit. Let's spend some time with these people so we can understand why they're doing these things.
Yeah.
And you only really get that for Jamie Foxx's character.
Yeah. Which is awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
Did you Google a pistol shrimp?
I didn't have to.
I did.
Netflix posted an article about it today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's an interview with a vulture.
Oh, that's cool.
I was like, wow, cool.
Yeah. No, I mean, all in all, I had a lot of fun watching it. If they made a sequel, I'd watch that.
Oh, yeah.
If they made a TV show, I'd be chomping at the bit to watch it.
Mm-hmm. That being said, it's still I feel like all this really cool stuff is there. I feel like we're giving it a lot of praise, but really it's like, oh wow, it's really cool. Okay.
Yeah, no, it kind of fizzles out.
Yeah.
And again, I think that kind of comes with that tonal shift where it just there is a hard stop on, okay, we're really serious. All right, now let's have fun. It's like they met their quota of serious time. And I think that is part of that issue.
I feel like they tried to hit a lot of marks. They hit a couple, but a lot of them really fall short to really make you go, that was good.
Yeah.
I can recommend that to people.
Yeah.
I give it Matthew McConaughey a high one, I guess. I could maybe tomorrow be like, it's a real low fanboy worthy, but I'm studying on Matthew McConaughey.
I landed at just a solid Matthew McConaughey. This is not for everyone. It's probably a little bit of a niche movie, but it is solid. It's tipping the scales both ways. So it's dead center for me.
Last Pro. Amazing soundtrack. The score was really good.
Yep.
I listened to it all day today at work.
Really?
It's really good. It reminds me a lot of Division.
Oh, cool.
Like it's the.
I need to listen to it without all the other stuff going on.
It's good. I remember watching the movie and I was like, I'm digging this score in the background.
Yeah, there's moments where you like start head bobbing.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of those times where I was really entranced or entertained by what was going on, I was just vibing to the music.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up to see who
scored it.
Who scored it? It was a guy I didn't know. Joseph Trapanese. Sorry if I said that wrong. Yeah, I didn't know what he had done. He's done Insurgent.
Oh.
And Lady and the Tramp live action.
It's kind of. So I'm gonna.
He did the Robin Hood movie with Taron Egerton.
And Arctic.
What's Arctic?
Isn't that the Mads Mikkelsen movie?
No, that was Polar.
Polar.
Dang it.
Best movie 2018.
I liked it.
No, I think this is cool though. I think Netflix is kind of carving out this place with the Old Guard and now Project Power. They're definitely jumping into the superhero realm. They're doing it in like the lesser known stuff or completely original, which I think is a lot of fun. I'm excited to see what they come up with next. I think we can safely assume that if they do a sequel to this, Jamie Foxx's character won't be in it. His line at the end of the movie, to me, is like...
I could see him bringing him back, I think, somehow.
Hey, for enough money,
yeah,
anyone will
do anything.
I mean, most of the budget for this movie went to...
the actors?
The two main guys.
I hope Dominique Fishback?
Yeah.
I hope she catches on. I actually really enjoyed her a lot.
Yeah.
Her comedic timing's pretty solid, too. I could see her getting in like a Kevin Hart action comedy movie. Like she would do really well across from Kevin Hart. Do the Clint Eastwood thing. Those moments were a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's it, I think, from me. Oh, it's also another side note. If you haven't seen Push, look it up. Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Push.
That is a really great movie, I think.
Agreed.
Super underrated.
Is Jessica Biel in that one?
I think it's...
Sounds right.
It's just Chris Evans and Dakota Fanning.
Oh, is it Dakota Fanning? I can't remember. Oh, I'm thinking of Next with
Nick Cage?
Nick Cage and Beal. In any case, yeah, Push is good.
Jimon Hansu's in it.
It's been a while.
He's also... Oh, no, that's Samuel Jackson, who's in Jumper.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. They all kind of do feel the same.
They all have the same tone. Make a shared universe. Do it. It'll be awesome.
Maybe we should write it.
Let's do it.
Cool.
And by us, I mean you. You can do it. This is a 6.1 on IMDb.
Do it
Some people game IMDb. That movie's good.
What is it on Rotten
Do it
Tomatoes?
together. That does not surprise me. That doesn't have a higher rating. I think you have some rose-colored glasses for it, but
Me?
yeah,
Maybe.
it's not awful.
I'll have them.
But it's not like an 8 or a 9.
It was just no. It's just different.
Yeah.
Which is super nice.
Yep. Well, we did not have any fan box questions.
Guilty pleasure.
Let's revisit that and see.
So let's just call it, and we can. I'm sorry. I'm ready to sleep.
He's kicking us out.
I walked in and he was sleeping.
That's true.
Too many late nights.
Butt naked.
No, this was a nice busy episode. We haven't had a news week like this in
It's a good
what
news week.
seems like months.
And I'm
it was
so
nice.
excited next week to talk about all things DC.
Oh man, next week's gonna be dope.
It's gonna be so fun.
I'm gonna put on extra deodorant next week because I'm gonna be sweating.
I'm gonna rock my Shazam shirt.
Shazam.
Shazam.
I'll get plenty of sleep the night before, so I'm not
I
Usually
won't.
it's
over here.
usually it's
I know
me that
normally
time.
it's you, but
I'll probably be watching all the trailers that come out over
Again.
and over and over again.
Oh my gosh, it's the Batman. Robert Pattinson, what a hunk.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get that first look.
yep.
I think I'm more excited to actually. I don't really get nervous about seeing a Batman, but I'm really wanting to see what Catwoman's design is going to be.
I'm interested to see the Riddler, honestly. I just wonder how comic booky he goes.
And Cheetah, I mean, different movie,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
All these costume reveals. We're gonna get some concept art for Black Adam and the Flash.
we're going to get to find out who the heck people are in Suicide Squad.
We have a pretty good indication of who people are, but we'll get confirmation.
Confirmations.
We've got all guesses.
And their costumes.
Yeah, some looks. So it's gonna be awesome. And until next week, thank you all for watching and listening. We'll see ya.
See ya.